So let me just say something. Okay. Um, Being somebody who has been on the spiritual path for a pretty long time at this point, I feel like a big part of my mission is helping people to... What type of bird is that? Is that a blackbird? Or what is that? Hang on. That's a crow, right? Okay. Or a blackbird. I don't really know. All I know, um, what's coming to mind is, I don't know if you've heard that song, and I don't know what the actual, I think it's just called Blackbird. I don't really know. The lyrics are basically like blackbird singing in the dead of night, like something about spread his wings and learn to fly. So that's random that that bird literally just showed up there and then flew away. Very random. So maybe somebody needs to hear that, part of the spiritual journey, and that is actually part of what I was going to talk about today, is, and it correlates with the Hangman card in the tarot, and that's Pisces energy, but really a big part of, and I feel like one of the main purposes of my mission is to help people who are struggling on the spiritual path, struggling with karmic lessons, struggling with learning the lessons, and struggling with like knowing how to get on the right path, or like just seeing light in general, or recognizing where they are on their spiritual journey. Because I think a lot of people are, understandably so, and this is also part of healing and the process of growth, is the universe will bring you to your knees at times, you know, and that's not for nothing. That's not just to fucking torture you. The purpose is to, like I was just saying with those song lyrics, teach you how to fly. I mean, that's corny, but like how to do the shit on your own, how to love yourself, how to acknowledge yourself, how to build your own self-esteem up, your own confidence, how to be the best version of yourself. So if the universe brings you to a place in your life where you feel like you're at your knees, on your knees, you feel like you're at the end of your rope, you feel like you're stuck, you don't know why you've been brought here, etc., to the place you're at, especially if there's a significant amount of suffering. Just like with the Hangman card, it's a lesson. It's a part of the spiritual path of growth, of learning. It's like the universe wants you to see something from a different perspective when the universe brings you to that place, to that crossroads, or to a place where it's like you're isolated, or you're struggling and you can't find your way out or through. That's the Hangman. Is there's some type of lesson attached to it. There's some type of perspective or view that you're not taking, that the universe is trying to show you, but you're not seeing it. Okay? So the universe doesn't just bring you to your lowest point for no reason. If you're there, there's a lesson attached to it. if you're there, you're probably not looking at something in your life in a way that's for your own benefit. Or not, sorry, that's the wrong word. For your best benefit and for your highest good. It's like you might be missing something. So if you notice in a lot of the spiritual or like wisdom related or even karmic related cards, there's a lot of solitude attached, like with the Fool, the Hermit, the Hangman. It's one person. The universe, if you find yourself alone, the universe is trying to get you to connect with yourself, because the only way that the universe can bring you that love that you're seeking, or those things outside of yourself that you feel are gonna apparently fill some type of void and make you happy, believe it or not, is to learn how to fill that void on your own first. Once you do that, you can attract other people or things that will do the same for you, but you will not attract that unless or until you acknowledge those things within yourself. So if you want to be loved, you want to care about, you want acknowledgement, you want people to see you, then you need to see yourself. You need to acknowledge yourself. You need to acknowledge your own feelings and honor your own feelings. If you don't, you're going to keep attracting people who do the same thing. You can only attract a vibrational match to what you are. Okay? So if you're attracting people who are in a space of lack or they're emotionally unavailable or available in some way, shape, or form, how did you attract that person? There's something in you that is energetically and also emotionally, subconsciously saying to yourself and the universe that, hey, that's what I deserve. So the universe brings you what you feel you deserve, because that's the vibration and energy that you're putting out there. So the way to get what you deserve, what all of us deserve, which is happiness, peace, etc., is to come to a place where you actually within yourself believe that you deserve that. Because a lot of times people are saying these things, oh, I deserve better and I deserve love and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, okay, so do you believe that though? Because people who believe that they deserve that, they don't settle for anything less than that, you know? So the lesson, essentially, it would appear to me, would be connecting with self-love, self-acknowledgement, self-validation. One of the biggest issues that distorts our perceptions and our reality about life and the way it's supposed to be is that, unfortunately, the 3D world makes you think or believe that you need some type of external validation or reassurance in order to live a quote-unquote successful or quote-unquote happy life. And that couldn't be further from the truth. What I mean by that is external validation through friends, external validation through family members accepting you by whatever, their standards are. External validation through people, quote unquote, liking you or paying attention to you, whether that be probably more especially so on social media, but could be in real life too. These are all things that people use as some type of reflection or judgment on their own self-worth or value, and it's a faulty thought process. What another person says or does is a reflection upon them. What I say and do is a reflection upon me, period. What you think about me, what you say about me, I don't give a fuck. You want to know why? Because it's none of my motherfucking business and it has nothing to do with me. There's a difference between subjective and objective truth. And 9 times out of 10, what others think about you is only subjective in nature. It's an opinion, which means it's not actually even true. Because if you think about it, a lot of negative opinions are rooted in insecurity, or like negative opinions about other people are rooted in a sense of insecurity or projection because you're triggered by something you see in someone else that is actually unhealed within you. So really, when it comes down to it, I don't give a fuck what other people say or think about me, because it's about them. It's actually how they feel about them, because people who feel good about themselves don't sit around talking about other people or talking shit about other people. We don't care. I don't care that much what Susie or, Jujubee is doing with their motherfucking life. I could give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. So it's none of my business, But point being, that's how you build confidence and learn to love yourself and learn to validate yourself, by recognizing and realizing that literally nothing anyone says to you or about you is personal. Even compliments. That's why when people compliment me, I feel nothing. When they talk shit, I feel nothing. Because I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I don't care what you think, good or bad. I don't care. I don't care, because I like me. I feel a lot of good things about me. So whatever you have to say, that's cool. I'm, glad you have an opinion, perspective. That's great. But as it pertains to my self-worth, my value, my self-esteem, my confidence level, yeah, it doesn't affect me at all. Not at all. Because I'm already grounded in who I am. So nothing can shake that. Nothing can move it. Nothing can influence it. And nothing can change that. Nobody can change who I am and who I know I am. Which is the shit. So, that's the healing. That's a part of the spiritual journey, is getting to a point where you are that grounded in who you are and your self-worth that it doesn't matter what someone else says or does. It's not a reflection upon you, so you don't take it personally. Obviously, people have feelings. I'm not saying you just stop having feelings. It's just, I don't know, what other people say and do just doesn't affect you to that degree or at all. It's a choice. I have a choice whether things impact me or not. So that is something that I think a lot of people struggle with, and that's why, that's half the problem, for people who struggle with anxiety, depression, things like that, is that when you are in those low vibrational energies and you haven't healed to that degree, you aren't in control of your own energy, so you allow that to pull you down. And then when you're in that lower vibration, it's a lot easier for other things to influence and infiltrate your energy and kind of make you feel worse, you know? So the key is, you know, training your mind to come to a place where it's like, I'm not going to feed into certain thoughts and emotions. I just talked to a couple of my clients about this today, and I told them about the story of two wolves. And I said to both of them, I said, because one of them is figuring this out. He's like, yeah, I'm like sitting here thinking like I'm like worried about the future, and like he's in this open relationship, and he's like, you know, I can't handle this. And then I realized, wait a second, like I don't even have to worry about this. I can just like chill out, experience my life, live it, and wait to see what happens if or when that happens. And I'm like, yay, yes, you're getting the hang of the flow of life and not allowing the flow of life to move you to that degree. Or allowing it to and just seeing what happens. Not being so attached to the outcome. So the story of two wolves is basically that the story is there is a boy and his grandson, and I don't know why it's a boy and his grandson. This is random as fuck, but apparently he's like, no, I just got to tell it my own way because I can't remember the exacts of that and I don't feel like getting specific. But basically, he's like, there's two wolves that live within you, and like two sides of the coin. Like there's that part of you that's like, you know, there's the wolf that has anger and self-pity and self-hate, self-loathing, blah 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 blah, fear, etc. And then there's the wolf that it is more centered around love and joy and all this other shit. And basically, you know, there's a war going on within every person between these two wolves. Every person struggles with this tension, this inner tension. And the grandson was like, okay, so which one wins? And the grandpa was like, whichever one you feed. So that is just it. It's like, if you choose to wallow in self-pity, if you choose to, you know, allow fear and pride to drive the way you're thinking, the way you're feeling, the way you're seeing life or perceiving yourself, then you are choosing to allow those emotions, those thoughts to run you, and then that thereby shapes how you see your entire life and the world around you. But if you choose to feed thoughts of love and joy and self-love and peace and high vibration, those are the thoughts and the feelings that are going to grow and persist. But if you feed into the negative bullshit, that's what's going to grow and persist. So me, I feel how I feel. And when the darkness comes up, I chill in it. But guess what? I don't wallow and I don't stay there that long. You know, I have a couple snacks and then I peace out. It's like, okay, I'm going to have a couple crackers here, you know, feel my feels. And then I'm going to be like, wait a second, I love my life. And that is not me. That energy is not me. I don't have to attach myself to it because it's not attached to me. You feel me? It's not my motherfucking problem. It's not my problem. So And another challenging, painful lesson in life I've myself come across time and time and time and time and time again is loss, grief and loss. Having to learn to love someone from a distance because they're not healthy enough for me to love, or they're emotionally unavailable, or they are damaged mentally, emotionally, intuitively. And it's a painful lesson to learn, but it's also taught me like the profound power and feeling of empowerment of really learning how to live in flow and live with constant change and impermanence. It's shown me the beauty in that, even though it's a very painful experience. It's kind of like, I don't know, awakening in a sense, And it's like I said, like I told my client the other day, it's like you just over time learn to view some of these things, or all of these things, as an adventure. How people see you, what people think of you, a challenge, a learning lesson, something new to know, another opportunity to stand up for yourself and advocate for yourself and talk shit so that you can improve your shit talking. That's the thing I love about it. I love when people talk shit about me and come into my shit and come at me, because it gives me an opportunity to not only build more resiliency, but also come up with even more shit to say that makes me realize, like, I don't know, in weird roundabout ways, like even more how valuable I am. Like, damn, I'm intelligent. I came up with that. Like, dang, that was quick. And also, it feels good when you know how to protect yourself and you get an opportunity to do that, because it's another act of self-love and self-care. So it's all about how you view things, how you see things, how you frame things in your mind. I had a client tell me today that sometimes, what was he saying? Actually, both of my clients say they struggle with this. But anyway, the one I was talking to, he said that he'll get these really like intense emotions, and then all of a sudden he'll feel like he'll go into feelings of like, oh, I don't want to be here. Like, why am I even here? And, we just reframed all of that shit and looked at it like, one of the things I said is, why are you here? Sometimes, you don't have an answer to everything, and why, who knows why, but based on what you're telling me, you serve purpose here. You have helped people. You mean something in people's lives, and you bring something to people's lives. So, there's a lot of different ways to reframe things, to see yourself in a different light and recognize that, we all have purpose and meaning if we choose to have it. If we choose to create that in our lives and for ourselves or for other people. So I think the moral of the story is, when you start taking back your power and taking control over yourself and your life and your mood and your thoughts, and recognizing that nobody has to approve you but you, and nobody has to see your worth and acknowledge you except for you, because really at the end of the day, all that matters is what you think about you, how you feel about you. I mean, yeah, it's important for you to cultivate relationships with other people and shit like that and have support in your life. Yes. But those relationships are only as authentic and as connected as you are with yourself, you know? Because again, who you attract depends upon the energy that you're in yourself. So if you're being fake, you're disconnected from yourself, you're in ego, blah, 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 you're going to attract people in that space too. And guess what? You're going to find yourself with very little support because you're surrounded by people who are very self-centered or, you know, only invested or interested in getting their egos fed or external validation. They're incomplete themselves. So the key is to create that self-love and that self-care and that self-respect within yourself so that you don't have to go searching for it elsewhere. And I think a lot of people were neglected or didn't get their needs met growing up have issues with this, with being able to like fill that within themselves. So they think that like, oh, if somebody else loves me or if something externally outside of me validates me, then that means that I'm okay or I'm good enough. And it's like, no, that's not how it works. Because if you're looking for that from other people or outside of yourself, then you're basically telling yourself and the universe that you're not good enough for you because you're looking for other people to see that because you don't think it yourself. You see how that works? If you knew, you truly believed that you were good enough, you wouldn't be looking for other people to tell you that or treat you in that way. You wouldn't care. Like I said, you wouldn't care. You would make sure that you're around people who do respect you and who do see you for who you are. But those who don't, like a lot of people like that are in my life, and those who don't, I literally just, you know, deal with them when I want to, and otherwise, you know, tough shit. But I don't need approval from anyone but me. And that is the true lesson. I mean, one of the biggest lessons. So it is a new moon in Gemini, and I will be doing a new moon reading in a little bit. But this was just kind of a random channeled message that came up. So probably, I mean, new moons are all about setting intentions and manifesting and like, you know, getting more of what you want. So it's kind of a good topic for the new moon because that's how you get more of what you want, is being that of which you want more of in life. So that's all for now. I'm going to be back to do a reading in a little bit, and otherwise feel free to drop a like and subscribe if you like what you hear, or even if you don't, and otherwise